He's doing so good with me. I'm telling you, I'm so proud of him.
You can start it. It's any time.
Okay.
If you change your mind, take a chance on the first in line.
Trump dance.
Take a chance on me. If you need me, let me know. Wanna be around. If you got your place to go, when you're feeling down. If you're all alone, with a breathing, take a chance on me. But if you got very best, I didn't know you could be true and best. Take a chance on me. Take a chance on me.
Oh, that's enough of that.
Live from every corner of the world, we have Chance's Chat with me, Docg, Chance McFadden, who has a bad tooth problem right now, a gum issue, and Fascinating Brian. Welcome, and we have this only for entertainment purposes only, but it also may not be. Welcome, Chance's Chat. This is Chance.
Guys. I was so...
Great start to the show.
I was so sick this morning. I got my dog trainer thing here. Hang on a minute. I got to zap him. Come on. Go sit down. Thank you. I've been working on with this dog trainer thing. And hello, Deborah Stump. Anyway, I was in so much pain this morning. It wasn't even funny. God, I look like a Klingon when I do that, don't I? Okay. You can see right here my jaw's swollen. You can see. And I got an abscess in my gums. And so I want to give a very familiar salute. Read between the lines, if you know what that means. Okay. But this goes to Dr. Kunch in Fort Madison. Okay. Look at this. Read between the lines, Dr. Kunch. Saw me for 5 minutes, charged me $140 and wouldn't take my insurance. Okay. That's for you, Dr. Kunch. Read between the lines. Okay. This is what's wrong with this medical system. And he wouldn't even clean my teeth because I'm going to need to have pain injections. So he refused to clean my teeth. If I think he's just there to look at your mouth and just give referrals and give me money. Ain't I special? Okay. Well, guess what? He says, you haven't been here in 8 years. I said, I didn't need to. He says, your teeth are perfect. I said, yeah, they should be as many times as I brush. And I started using the Thieves mouthwash, which is great. I don't know if you know what that is. That has colloidal silver in it. Very good. And it's very, keeps your breath very fresh and clean and kills all the nasties in your mouth. But, man, sorry. I don't believe in ripping anybody off. And boy, oh boy, what do you talk about a ripoff? Man, he gets a gold star and a read between the lines. Anyway, guys, we've got new information from the intel officer. I'm going to, they're in on it too. Yes, honey, I get it. Thank you, Love Jen 17. I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of the stuff that's going on before I read the intel stuff. First of all, we all know Hunter Biden in the psych op of the soap opera of, Let's Go Brandon and all his characters in the movie. 3 convictions. And it looks like Trump's going to get a mistrial because they found so far 4 jurors that have talked about it outside of the before a verdict was made. And so we got 4, maybe 5 by now. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that drama. I glance at it and I just go on because it's just like Brian says, everything is a psych op. Everything is a psych op. But what we can tell you is it's very important. Our friend Bernadette, I love her to death. She's a wonderful lady. She has followed me and Kent Dunn from the beginning, and she has tons and tons of notes. She made notes about everything I ever did on Kent Dunn's show, and everything I ever said, and on these shows too, and on all my chances chats on Telegram. She is a very special lady, and I'm just going to say, if you're on Telegram and you see her come up and you start arguing with her, guess what's going to happen to you? Because she knows what's going on, because she is an astute student of Kent Dunn and myself. And as far as I'm concerned, that's the only two truthers that are laying the real deal out for you. Now, we're not going to play into the geopolitical game. We're not going to play into that, and I just don't want to. And Brian really got it through my head. He really did. Here about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he said everything is a psycho. Why are we even worried about the movie? F the movie. Okay, it's over. They just haven't run the credits yet. There's still some subplots that are unfolding at the end of the movie, but we don't give a damn. Here's what we give a damn about. We give a damn about getting paid. We give a damn about helping our neighbors, our friends, our family, our veterans, our homeless. This is what we care about. And we know we can't do it without the energy of the new financial system. Money is energy and vibration. And we need it. Okay, man, my jaw looks terrible. Sorry, guys. No, I'm not wearing a mask. This is really me. Okay. But there is a scenario that's playing out on the internet from 2 guys that I watch. And these guys, we love you, Bernadette. I'm going to tell you right now, there's a scenario playing out about Bernadette. You might want to listen to this too, because this is important. Okay. There's a scenario playing out on I Allegedly and on that's Dan from I Allegedly. And there's a scenario playing out with Economic Ninja. That's who it is. He also goes as the real estate ninja. Okay. Now, these guys have a phenomenal following. Okay.
They're smart too.
Yeah, they're very smart because they knew how to make money in a corrupt system. They're very smart. But the thing that is going to pull the rug out from under them is the fact the economic ninja knows about the dinar. He knows it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. He's already made 3 or 4 videos talking about it. He knows it's going to happen. And when that happens, he hasn't talked about besides that. But I'm going to talk about it. But when they do, when the dinar finally gets released, whether it's a slow rollout or whatever it is, there may be a partial shotgun start. I don't know. I doubt it. I really do doubt it at this particular point. But that could change. Everything changes. Remember, it's a moving target. But what I got to say is you have to realize that for these guys to admit that something is getting ready to happen means it's inevitable. Okay? Now, Dan from I Allegedly, he doesn't have a clue about this. If he does, he's not saying anything about it on his videos. But they are both right about the real estate market getting ready to crash. And they are both right about the bonds coming into the United States. Do you know, my teeth are perfect, by the way, Denise. If you haven't had your gum cleaned in years, that's right, I haven't. But I brush my teeth every day with baking soda. So I probably have a periodontal disease. That's right. An infection's not going away until you go deep cleaning. You're right. Denise, you're right. And I'm taking care of it. I've got an appointment set up at University Hospital in Iowa City, or I can go to this local clinic. But anyway, I'm going to get that done. You are right. You are right. You are right. And I'm going to take care of it the best way I can, since I don't have a med bed around the corner. Okay. So anyway, what's going to happen is, let's just say, this is my disclaimer. This is my disclaimer. Do not believe any of the crap about the RV not being real. Do not believe any of it. It's all crap. But let's just say, for instance, that the RV didn't happen. Well, what's getting ready to happen in the United States without the RV is hyperinflation that's going to make Zimbabwe feel like the richest country in the world. You're going to be paying 10 to 20 bucks for a loaf of bread, okay? Because a dollar isn't going to be worth anything, okay? But here's what's getting ready to happen. I knew they were going to do this. You are going to see a boom in the economy. It's going to be very, very quick, and it's going to appear to be that everybody's got money and everybody's spending it like drunken sailors, and you're going to be all excited. Oh, the economy's coming back. No, what they're doing is they're loaning people money so they can pay their credit cards and debt, and mortgages get caught up in everything. They're going to drop the interest rate. The Federal Reserve's going to drop the interest rate. They're going to give everybody a false sense of security so they could go back into the banks. They can borrow $40,000 or $50,000, and all of a sudden we got a boom in the economy, and Biden's looking like a hero. Gee, what's that sound like? That sounds like getting everything set up for the election. The only problem is the batteries on the Android Let's Go Brandon is they're running pretty thin. Okay, his eyes are turning black. I don't know if he's leaking motor fluid, because I know he's not leaking anything anally, but he appears to be, But okay, so they're getting a false scenario set up. No, I'm not answering any calls during the show. This guy, I love him to death, but no. My gosh, I don't understand people that call during the show. I'm on a show. My gosh. Okay, so anyway, here's what's going on. So they're going to make it look like the economy's booming and everything just before the bottom falls out of everything. And then we're in hyperinflation, and even more people lose their houses, even more people get homeless and everything, but it ain't going to happen that way, because the RV is real. Now, I have already posted on the Chances Live chat group 2 on Telegram. I've already posted. If you don't think that Nisar Gassar isn't real, I can prove to you with one document, and that's the document I got from FedEx. I posted it. Did you see me post that, Brian?
Yep, I did.
Okay. That proves I owed him over $55,000. I think I owe him $19 and change now. And that was what was the funny thing about the letter. If you got that, Brian, if you read the letter, it said, is there a reason why you couldn't complete the payment? You just got a check for $54,000 and you're worried about $19? Read it. But that's corporate mentality for you, okay? That's why all these corporations got to go. That's why the 55-page booklet of who not to do business with is very important for you to avoid. And it's like a lady said to me the other day, and I know, and I agree with her. God knows I agree with her. She said, what are we going to do without Amazon? Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen. And Brian would tell you the same thing. There's going to be somebody else step in with a similar operation or take over the operation, and it's going to be run legitimately.
It's already taken over.
Oh, has it?
Well, think about it. It's one of those things that is already anchored in collectively, consciously, it is used. The only problem that you're going to find is that it's inefficient, right? So inefficient mean it's not for the human. It's not, it's kind of almost like a corporate kind of drone slave system where I know what it's like to be an Amazon driver. I did it for close to a year. It's not easy. It's like 300 plus packages a day. And they'd say, hey, if you can't finish your packages and it becomes a problem, they fire you. So is that fair? And it's equal in the number. It doesn't matter if you're a male or female. So I'm like, well, that's a problem too.
Brian, did they give you potty breaks, or that wasn't allowed, right? Potty breaks.
Well, I was a van driver, so I could take as many breaks as I wanted, as long as I'd finish within the 8 hours or 10 hours. But it's pretty absurd because like some of them are super heavy, or some of them you just can't deliver. It becomes undeliverable, and then it's like, no, you need to go back and try again. Go back and try again, and then you're like, no. I'm not going to burn myself out and keep going round robin. If they're not available, they're not getting their shit. So there's a lot of, and it's not just like from the delivery, it's also the inside warehouse also. So there's a lot of problems. You can YouTube it. You can see that conditionings aren't being met, or people are being worked at a extreme pace versus a normal pace, just so they can, shell it out like a deck of cards. So there's a lot of problems, which is why it would go to what? Robotics.
Brian,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
Did you see that video about the lady that they bought a Amazon box and they dissected it? It was bigger than a refrigerator, and it was leaning over. Did you see that video buying Amazon returns?
No.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. They spent $3,500 and $500 on the delivery. And they will make probably about $1,500 profit on what was in there. But the man hours that are involved in checking everything out and doing one of those things, it wasn't worth it. And she said they're just going to go back to yard sales and stuff like that. But you got to feel sorry for the people that buy these things, because they think they're going to make money, and they're not. You need so much labor just to unload one of those boxes, and then I know the process, and anybody that sells on eBay knows the process.
Well, it's because it's a psych op too. They hire actors to go on YouTube to tell you, oh, this is the greatest thing. I'm making this.
Because you can make big money.
Yes. So because they don't want to deal with it, so it's cheaper for them to just kind of hire actors and do crap. And they've also adjusted the flex time workers pay far less by the ethics of the algorithm, right? So now they're perpetuously trying to squeeze, and because they're losing millions or billions of dollars, all these companies are. So certain things could have the potential to transfer over, whatever, again, idea of ascension or whatever. But in the meantime, while we're still playing in 3D, we want them to transition quickly. A perfect example is if all bank identities would cease to exist and just become wealth management centers. You don't need them, right? But that's going to be more of the fourth dimensional phase. That's not going to happen right away.
Right.
Until the quantum, the sentient system takes over a lot of the human problems with economics and stuff. So that'll be interesting.
You're absolutely correct. And, we could sit here all day and talk about Amazon and what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. But what it all boils down to, we've had Amazon in our lives now for long enough. Everybody else has figured it out too. So basically, if you like, I got this thing, okay, this dog training tool. It's a really good dog training tool. The noise level has gone down a lot, but I use it so much I basically keep it on my key ring, okay. So, and I have it hanging out like that out of my pocket. It's not in my pocket. It's hanging out. That way I can quick on the draw for those type deals, you know. So anyway, this is what everybody's waiting for is the updates. Now, before we go into this and read the updates from the intake officer, we're going to give you a little insider information that you may or may not know. Some people have mentioned it online. Most haven't. They were waiting for supposedly, according to the PsyCop, the magic number was $3.91, and on the back screens of the 4X, it exceeded $4.20. Excuse me. So it's exceeded their goal. So what we are is we're standing by in hover mode, waiting to do something. Here's the update. Okay, now this will tell you how the PsyCop's working right off the very first line, okay? And this is from the guy that deals with the whales, okay? So here we go. The budget was posted in the National Gazette Saturday and is now law. But how come we didn't get to see that in our version of the Gazette? More PsyCop. But they're keeping that private until the release of the new rate, which they expect at any moment, which is now, like I just told you, it's over $4.20 on the back screen of the 4X. And the 4X is going to disappear also because 4X is a platform of the cable guys. So let's just forget that, okay? Now, Monday, Iraq. This is a little bit better than PsyCop, okay? Monday, Iraq was officially removed from the list of high-risk nations. That's a pretty hard thing to do, okay? Think about it. You gotta really have some do-re-mi. Well, of course, 2 sets of books. Everybody, I know some governments have 3 sets of books just so they can embezzle. Not kidding. Hello, amigos. Roy beat a man. Okay, so Iraq was officially removed from the list of high-risk nations. This is a result of Prime Minister Sidani working with U.S. and the other nations to stop the corruption, especially by Iran with their currency thieving, and the banking reform. Iraq has announced that June 30th will begin a major national celebration. A national celebration. I'm going to tell you what. Let me tell you. Let's stop right there so I can elaborate on this. My mom's best friend was Joa. Joa worked at Western Illinois University as the secretary for a long time, and she had to deal with the Iraqis. And she told me about them. She says, Brian, she says, you never seen a bunch of grown children like the Iraqis. Especially the people that are in a charge of something. She said the other people are just people, just like you and me. You know, they will take care of their families and fix supper and take a shower and watch their show or something. You know, it's all good, okay? But these dignitaries, let's just say you got 6 dignitaries, they're having a meeting, and Joe Blow over here says, oh, I think we ought to do that on a Tuesday instead of a Wednesday because, you know, Wednesdays are a very special day in our culture. Oh, let's have a party. Let's have a vacation. We're going to call that a national holiday. Did you hear what Joe came up with? Isn't that amazing? And they'll take 2 weeks off. That's why it's taken 13 years of my life to see these guys do anything. They're a bunch of children. They remind me of Ferengis on Star Trek. Okay? Go watch the. If you watch Star Trek, you see how the Ferengis are. Then you're going to know there's the Iraqis, the dignitaries anyway, not the regular people. So Iraqi has announced that June 30th will become the major national celebration with many dignitaries from around the world. This is to celebrate the return of Iraq to the financial and economic status in the global community. This is pretty good. This is a little bit better than the psyop stuff. This is outside of the psyop stuff, guys. This is not part of the movie. This is what's really happening. Problem is, the Iraqis revalued in March 17th. Now they're going to be nice and play nice and let the investors in the United States have their turn. Our primary source acknowledged this, confirmed to him that the long wait is over. It's just a matter of the last guy pushing the button to release the rate at any moment. Now, this is important. June 16th begins the annual Muslim pilgrimage to Iraq. They generally need an extra flow of cash for the pilgrims during that time. Bankers, money handlers, and the such are expected dinars to be released Monday morning, which was this last Monday morning, because the budget is now law. They called known investor customers to let them know of it, and it is on the brink of release and to make their final preparations. There is new information regarding procedures. Not sure if for one major bank or for alls, but we'll have to see. It doesn't matter anyway because it doesn't matter to us. We're doing our thing over here. They're doing their thing over there. We were told before that an automatic 90-day NDA goes into effect for anyone who exchanges at banking alternative centers. That's the redemption centers. They must have realized that they need paperwork. Okay? So an NDA document will be presented to be signed. But remember, from the time you call in, you're under an electronic NDA anyway. Okay. The requirement has not changed. You will need to sign paperwork. Note, Iraq is waiting like everyone else. Bullshit. That's part of the psyop. They've happened March 17th. Remember how I told you? Did I tell you the number one and number two things that are being purchased in Iraq right now? The number one thing is big screen TVs. The number two is air conditioners. But the number 7 or 8 thing that's really going off the charts is meat from the United States. They're buying American beef. They're buying American chicken. Think about that. How could they be buying all this stuff if it hadn't already happened for them? It's one of those things that make you go, okay. They are all waiting on the edge of their seats, waiting for the final go. No, they've already gone over there. God is faithful. God is good. And that's the updates. And you're right. We don't need our Iraq to RV because hello, Julie, I'm not feeling any better. I'm feeling worse. I have an abscess in my tooth right here and underneath my tooth. And I've got heavy antibiotics. I didn't get any shots, thank God. And I've got some pain pills. And I cannot. I'm a big coward. I cannot take pain, so I have to use Cabal guys drugs. And but I'll maintain. It's really, really sore right now. I should be taking another pain pill. But if you want to see me turn into a soup sandwich on the air, then that's why I'm not going to. How'd you like that? How'd you like that term, Brian?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Soup sandwich. I'll be all over the place. I can't take credit for that one. My dead brother came up with that one.
No, that's good. I like that.
Yeah. So it's really sore. I can't even bite down on this side of my mouth. If the teeth even touch, it goes, ugh. When the med beds come out, they'll all be out of business for ripping off people. And praise the Lord for that day. Praise the Lord, because These people, oh my God. Oh my God, these. But the doctor I went to today was actually pretty decent, and he called a spade. You know, he said, "Well, the guy that you went and saw is a ripoff," and he says, "You'd be better off to go to somebody that takes your insurance because they don't want to lose that insurance because that's their guaranteed income." So I said, "Yeah," but he said if I come back Monday and it's still swollen like it is, which he doesn't think it will be, he thinks the antibiotics dry it out. But he says if it's still hypersensitive like it is, then he's going to numb me up and he's going to go like this and poke a hole and literally drain the abscess out. And I just want it over with. I hate. Okay, now listen to me well. I hate taking pills. If it's not a supplement, I'm not taking it. And I hate drinking soda pop. I know what it does to you. It can literally kill you. Number one thing I think I hate more than anything else is the spaces between my teeth. You know?
But it adds character.
Well, yeah, but I just didn't lose that part of my character because when I go into medbed, I'm gonna say, "Please fix my teeth, thank you."
You'll just put your attention to that, and there can be auto corrections. I'm not sure. So here's the problem with the medbed scenarios. I am not sure how sophisticated they are. Honest to God, I don't know which ones you're using. I know of one from a more interstellar point of view where you can make a lot of auto adjustments. And they're good at doing a lot of different things. However, they're still not perfect. And like a perfect example, if you get some type of infection or disease, you're still working with an avatar, and you may have to be, and I'm talking from top side up, you can end up being in an immersion pod where your blood is being like I would say cleansed, and that could be like 2 months under a liquid oxygen tank. You don't move. You're there because it's a delicate situation, repairing cells. I wanted to touch base on the reason why I know a lot of people are very sensitive to the idea of the RV, but I'll give it to you from a more simplistic fashion, and that is think of the program, right? It is literally a physical program, but look at it from the programmer. What do all things have in common? When programs are created, they have to go through what stage? It's quite simple. Beta testing. So they're beta testing. They're beta testing in this location. They're beta testing in that location. They're coordinating with each other, letting each other know this works better this way. This works better that way. Then they go to another beta location. They test the in-between ident states to see if it's a more hardline projection meets the requirements. So you're getting a lot of beta testing. So they're going to continuously fine tune, just like they're going to continuously arrest and remove because we don't need any interference. So that's a part of the process. And we all have to live with not knowing anything. As I have said before, really none of it is important. But also at the same time, I know a lot of people and need to think about something very powerful and specific. And I will also touch base on this. So when we are engaging in communities, when we are engaging in the chat forums, I have noticed a level of, I'm not going to say negativity, but the need to challenge. Okay. And what I need people to really understand is no one needs to challenge anybody, right? I don't know why there's this need to prove that someone's more spiritual than someone else, or someone is this or that, when really there's no one's trying. No one should be trying to one up on anyone or get the last word. It's kind of pointless. But what I don't like above all else is when someone disrespects someone behind their back. Okay. And someone did disrespect me behind their back, which shows a couple things. One, lack of character. Two, that individual will have to reevaluate if they are authentic or fake themselves, right? It's not my job to figure it out. I know who I am as clear as day. And this important piece, a lot of people should really have respect for. I'm not saying you have to have respect for all the ugliness that you have not bore witness to, but you have got to know in face value. And I'm talking about the dark side. You are missing the true essence of how the game board is represented, and I'll give it to you from a linear fashion, which is the chessboard. Okay, so we have two sets of chess pieces, right? Right? One is black, one is white. So if one is white and black, then think of it as good and evil. So you are sitting in front of your opponent and you're playing a game. So what's the difference between the game here? Again, it's still a game board, and the actual game. Well, it's actually really simple. There is no difference. It's just strategy. One is going to win, the other one's going to lose, depending on the outcome. But of course, there's an underline behind it because it's all about the energy, right? So if you're more clever, you're more powerful in your identity, your skill set, you're going to win. Or it could be a draw. You don't know. But when you look at the opposite side, and this is what's really clever, and I'm going to tell you a little secret, and a lot of these dark masters don't want you to know it. In fact, one of them was cursing me up and down because it would take away his power. He knows he would lose total power here, and he would have to move somewhere else. So when you give away your energy in a negative format, these sentient dark masters, they pull on that energy and they harvest and they collect that energy. And I'm not talking about the masters that the white hats are playing against. These are multi-dimensional beings that can tear in between rifts, and then they pull energy from how the collective operates, from ideas that they see, they're witnessing, and then they take it. So you are feeding the machine by damming the board game. So how do you move above that? I'm not saying you have to like it, but like in chess, you should really have gratitude to witness it, right? So there's a difference between gratitude for being here present to bear witness to something rather than feeding it and saying all be cursed and all be damned and follow the same human actionary parameters. No, you should really be thankful to witness such a giant, phenomenal, garbage board game. And when you are thankful, you have a lot of respect for the idea of what darkness goes through. And it's not the respect that you're thinking where you're like, oh, well, I'm glad, like, I'm happy they do these horrific things to children or to people. No, you're grateful because their energy dynamics means at some point they got to pay it back. We've all seen the movies. Villains always have to pay back the energy, nearly always, except very, very, very few ascended dark masters. They are the power players in many multidimensional board games because they know how to play properly. It's controlled small group, and it doesn't interfere with other villain-like groups. And when their pieces are all removed, it's just them again because they don't share power. They don't need to share power.
Mhm.
So they're quite clever, and they will just keep gateways open and they will feed and pull on all that negative energy, and they'll move to another realm and they'll do the same BS again. And they're eternal and they love their job. But I'm glad, the reason why I'm glad I could share the idea with you and get you to re-examine, in my opinion, be of gratitude instead, is because you may decide, I'm not saying in the near future, maybe hundreds of thousands of years, you may play the part of a villain for the good side. Sometimes you have to. It's a blend. Nothing is truly black or truly white. If an angel could become a fallen, a demon can become an angel. Sorry, it's just how it is. That's my opinion, and that's, my spiritual journey.
Hmm. One second.
Oh, okay. So
There. Here, I'm back. I was.
oh well.
Here's what I used for the pain. Okay.
Yep. Thieves.
Thieves. You guys know what that is? I'm just new to it. Okay. It really does help. The longer you can keep it in, the better it works. And I usually put it in. Put it in my area right there and let it sit for at least a half hour. But it was starting to get to me, so I had to go grab some. Okay. Jane, you don't have any bonds or currency. You don't wait a minute. If you don't have any currency, how do you have currency?
Yeah, and what is she worried about?
If you don't have any currency, then you're not going to get called in because the only people that have currency or bonds are going to be the ones that are going to be called in. Okay? So
Chance, I think this comes from the people that keep saying that even the people that don't have bonds or currency are going to get money. So this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because what's going to happen is the first thing that will happen is not earn basic income, but the basic income money. That'll be $5,000 to $7,000 a month for every Social Security recipient and everybody that's on. But then again, your money that you get every month depends on your age because I think it's running down to earn basic income. I think it starts at about 24, and you get a couple $1,000s a month, and then you get like $3,000 a month if you're over 32 or so. And in the 40s you get more, and in the 50s you get more. In the 60s you get 60s to 70s you get the large amount, $5,000 to $7,000. So that's the earn basic income that you will be getting on the R&R Reformation and Restorations. Now that's part of the Restoration and Reformations, but the actual Restoration and Reformations are mostly for the older people from, let's say, 35 to 70s, 80s. We're the ones that did business with the banks. We're the ones that got screwed over and over. We're the ones that got put into slavery. And that's why we're going to be getting back all our property tax. That's why we're going to be getting back all of our interest on all the loans. And if we've had any houses repossessed, that's going to be returned. If we've had any financial transactions at all, any financial transactions with fiat fake currency is going to be reversed on the restoration and reformation. Okay. Now, I get a little bit more information on this every time I have a contact who talks with Dave, the XRP Lion. I don't think he wants to talk to me. I've sent out some requests. He is a very smart man, and but I'm okay not talking to him, but I'm getting information from somebody that does talk to him on a regular basis. And I'm able to sort through that information because I could be wrong. I mean, I'll be the first guy to hold up my hand and say, hey, I made a mistake. I did something wrong. I goofed up, but I listen to Dave, the XRP Lion. He's the only guy I listen to. And when it makes it sound, the way he talks, he's sitting down at a table across the table from God, and they're sitting there and they're just having a regular conversation like a couple guys, and God's giving him all the information, and he's, I don't think it works that way. In fact, I know it doesn't, because I just get bolts of the blue just sent to me. It just a download. I call them downloads. I just get downloads, and I haven't had one since from God. I haven't gotten a download since I diagnosed that car problem.
But that's what it's called. It's called channeling.
That's
usually it's a download, or you could think of it as like a phone call. So I'm not saying he's lying or anything. I like Dave the XRP Lion. I enjoy listening to him, and I've even learned a couple things from him. But I will tell you that I just don't see him sitting down having a across the table conversation like a couple guys playing cards, and they're shooting the bull back and forth on, oh, by the way, this is going to happen and that's going to happen, but I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. But, God may send me a download, and he may say, quit talking about Dave the XRP Lion. He's one of my favorites. Well, okay, God. Okay. I doubt it.
I know. I know. I mean, how favorite could he be with God as a tax consultant? Yeah. I mean, basically, he's made a living working for the bad guys. So take that. I just put it out there, and just take it any way you want to take it. And if you think I'm full of bull, then I'm full of bull. It's that easy. Okay. I do want to say something. I do want to address something. I get a lot of guys and gals both. I think that everything's going to kick off this year, but I think we're not going to make it to the end of the month. Me, myself, and I. Those are the three people that I invite to my pity party every day. Me, myself, and I. But anyway, I think the redemptions will be made obvious, not public, but made obvious by the end of the month with a lot of people. And when I disappear, then it's happening. Okay, so you can just use me as a counterpoint. The other point that you can depend on is wise.com. So if you've got a wise.com account, then just keep an eye on that. And when you're $59 changes into 2.4 million, you've done something right. Switch it back over to US dollars and rock and roll. Okay. Now, yeah, I get it, Teresa. IRS is a crooked communist. Don't even get me going. Okay. I hate the IRS. I hate property tax. I hate Alliant Energy. How you like that? Selling us energy that they get for free.
That's the American way.
It's not the American way I grew up
No,
with.
I know, but that's what everybody says. When you have
Yeah, I
something
know.
free,
Well, you got to pay your
you gotta
bills.
make a profit.
Maybe you don't. Maybe you
No,
don't.
but that's what they say. You have to
Yeah,
make a profit.
I know.
I don't either.
Okay, I grew up with George Reeves in the 1950s. I watched Superman, Truth, Justice, the American Way, and guess what? It stuck with me. It stuck with me big time. And then when I got older and more spiritual, I realized that the true Superman is Jesus Christ, and or Yeshua, whatever you want to call him, however you call him, son of God, son of Yahweh, son of Source, whatever you want to call him. Call him whatever you like. But, I have a very strong sense of right and wrong. Very strong. It resonates with me constantly. And we were talking off the air about this lady. I'm not going to mention her name. She is a sister of one of our group members. And by the way, we have just in the Kent Dunn group and the Hamilton radio group and people that watch Chance McFadden on the different platforms. I think we're approaching 20,000 people now. You know why I get 200 phone calls a day. Okay, that's why when somebody calls me 5 or 6 times, I go, do I have to do this again? I already did this once. Do I have to do this again? Okay, and that's when I get that pain right about there. I'm getting tired. It's time to grab my Megan and lay down and take a nap. Or talk to one of my good friends. I always talk to Maria, and I talk to Miss Nikki, and I talk to Bernadette, and I talk to a lot of these really nice ladies that are really, really, really just super people, and they're all sharp as tacks. Okay, so and it helps keep me on my game too, because here's the thing: I live in Fort Madison, Iowa. All my friends have died. They've all died. Everybody I've ever played in a band with around here is dead, except my kids. My kids are still here, thank God. But all the musicians that I've worked with, all the musicians that I idolized when I was a kid, they're all gone. Everybody's dead. It's like when I worked for the Illinois Bureau of Investigation. Everybody I worked with is dead. They're all dead. The Sheriff's Department, McDonough County, where I worked out of. Not one deputy left that remembers me. Not one that remembers John Blevins or Stanley Carmen. They're both gone. And I worked heavily with those guys. Okay? So you want to talk about when you have a relationship with somebody over the phone, it's a pretty important relationship when that's all you got. You know what I mean? Family's great. That's fine. But, it's pretty wonderful to have relationships with somebody that, and plus with the phones, you can see them face to face. It's great. So I find that important. And so if you don't think they're real friends, they are, And before we get into the last half hour of the show, I want to remind everybody, as close as we are, and if you don't have the RV protocol papers, then you need to have them. And I'm not joking. Now, Magic Jeff on the show the other day, he let loose of one of the cherries that I put at the end of the how you get a cherry on top,
On a cupcake, yes.
Yeah, on a cupcake you get the cherry, and it's just a little reward for buying the cupcake. Well, I've got a cherry in the RV protocol papers, and that's a trust. There's a free trust at the back of it. And it's a simple trust, but it will get you through the redemption process. So if you're no good at downloading and doing all this stuff, there is a trust at the end of the RV protocol papers. They're $50. Send it Cash App or Zelle. to 319-561-0064, Brian McFadden. Or if you're overseas, send me an email at chancemusic@yahoo.com. I will send you a wise.com request that you could pay with a credit card, and we'll send them to you by email. Okay? And if you don't have either one of those and you still want them, send me an email. I've never had one person cheat me, not one. I'll send them right out to you, and you can just mail me a check. Okay? I'll just send you the information on where to mail the check to in the email and send them back to you. Okay? So there we go. It's a little cherry on the. Most people comment on it after they get the papers. I didn't know there was a free trust at the end of it. Yeah, go for it. Just go get yourself an EIN number and fill out the paperwork and go get it notarized, and you're rocking and you're rolling. Okay? But it is the equivalent of a skeleton trust, because a real trust that you get from Raymond for $800 each, either revocable or irrevocable, it's a real trust, and it will carry you forth after the RV. Okay, whereas the skeleton trust won't. Okay, you'll have to seek out and get a better one after that. And also for those that are having house foreclosure problems, credit problems, lawsuit problems, you need the express trust. It is $2,500, and that's half of what everybody else is charging, most express trusts. And it is not to be considered a trust like the irrevocable or revocable trust. What it is a trust. Okay, now I'm going to explain this to you the right way. Okay, it is a trust that you have with your straw man account. Okay, that puts you in charge of the straw man account, and it takes you out of the jurisdiction of the courts, and it literally makes it so you can create your own financial instrument once you follow the proper procedures. Marie Janet, who offers these trusts, is right now this close, literally that close, to creating her first financial instrument, which means taking money out of her strawman account. If you get an express trust, there are classes required. They'll be online. You don't have to be a genius. You just got to know how to defend the trust. Okay? And that's all I got to say about that. Except if you want it, send me an email at chancemusic@yahoo.com. Betty Bushillian says, I have mine and it's helped me out a lot. That's what I'm talking about, Betty. And I had a lady call me today, and this is kind of a legal thing I'm going over with you today. She sent me that says, I got collection problems. I got this stuff. And she got a judgment without her being in court, which is illegal. They never notified her of the court date or the judgment, but they sent her a thing in the mail saying, we have a judgment against you. And so that's called an ex parte judgment, and it's illegal. And that means one of the parties involved in it was not allowed to speak. And so I told her, I said, button it all back up. She opened it real careful, button it all back up, put it back in, and return to sender, deceased. Well, why would you tell the IRS or anybody, why would you tell me I'm not dead, I'm right here? I said, you are dead. No, I'm not, I'm right here. Chance, what's wrong with you? Your birth certificate says you are dead. You are a dead entity. It's all in all capital names. That is a dead entity. That is a straw man. You have to have an EIN. You have to have an EIN because the EIN is part of proving that you are a living human being. But you do not want to prove that the straw man and the living man are the same entity, or they'll go after you. You have to keep them separated. Okay? So when you have your EIN, what happens is your straw man becomes your dead entity becomes your employee. That's what EIN, and means. It's employee identification number. You get it? You're your own employee. You follow me? Okay, that's what the EIN number is for.
It's a loophole.
It's a loophole, guys. Everything's psycho. Everything's bullshit. It's all bullshit. Listen, that was one of the most astute things I had ever had anybody say, ever. Saying that everything is a psycho. And I went to bed thinking about that, and I've dreamed about it. And in my dreams, I'm having people that have died, and they're coming, and I'm saying, well, it doesn't matter what you say or what you do or whatever your message is in this dream, because everything's a psycho. I said that dream was probably planted in my subconscious, since I'm still stuck in the matrix. You know what I mean? So, see ya. Psych-op. Psych-op means psychological operation.
Yep.
Okay? So when I say psych-op, that's what I mean. Okay? And so that's got to be one of the most astute things. Swiss cheese in and out of the holes. You know what my dad used to say? We used to go buy Swiss cheese at the store. And it was the one that was real Swiss cheese, and it really, you know what I mean? Hi, Charlene. Good to see you. My dad wouldn't buy one package of Swiss cheese. He'd buy like 5 or 6 packages of Swiss cheese.
Oh, man.
And we would sit at the table with my dad. Now, my dad was an alcoholic, but sometimes he'd say things that were so astute, and he did his own psych-op on us. And it was so wonderful, so endearing. He didn't even know he was doing a psych-op, but he'd say to me and my brother, we'd sit at the kitchen table with him, and we were kind of hee-hawing because he was always so, toasted. And he'd say, well, the best part about this Swiss cheese is, I said, no, what is it? What is it, Father? What's the holes? The holes are the best part. That's where all the flavor is. And we love Swiss cheese. And my dad occasionally would say to my brother, how'd that one had a big hole in it. How'd that taste? It was good, Father. It was good, Okay. There's my Swiss cheese story. I got a story about everything, man. When you grow up a hillbilly in industrial Illinois, man, I'm telling you, I got a story for everything. How long will we have to? You mean actual physical time? Okay, if your first appointment is by internet and going to bank and setting up to get your 1%, that'll be like 10 or 15 minutes. But if you actually go into an exchange center, they're gonna try getting you in and out between 8 and 15 minutes. Okay, 8 and 15 minutes is and they're going to lean towards the 8. And they don't want to hear any drama. They don't want to hear what you're going to do. They don't want to hear about your humanitarian plans. That'll come the second or third appointment. Okay, they don't want to hear about your drama. They don't want to hear about your sister-in-law or what your brother did or what grandma set this up for me. And they don't want to hear any of that. Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts. Okay.
So this is like the point where people are asking these simple questions. Why can't you just visualize? Okay. He gives you a template, 8 to 10 minutes, right? So it's the base template. Why can't you just imagine yourself walking in the door? It goes smooth. You show some papers. If you're asked to bring your currencies, you bring your currencies, cordial, whether it's male, whether it's female. Use very creative, do a clone version of you and your imagery and watch it go smooth and walk out. And then imagine the second one or the third one if there's a third one. It's so simple. And all you have to do is let it go because it is an energetic drop that ripples out. You'll let the idea go. You could come back to it as many times as you want. And you just keep rippling it out. Super powerful, super, super simple. And as I said, probably in a post, if everyone did that, the energy would boomerang back a lot faster.
Yep.
You're not going to know how it's going to come. You're not going to know how it's going to work because you're leaving it to the A team that you can't see, right? And we don't know those, whatever entities those are, but they hear it loud and clear and they're like, okay, well, maybe we can do some hop, skip, and a jump in certain people and just suddenly, oops, my finger slipped. Uh-oh, button pushed. It could happen. And people
You're
would
getting
be,
street right.
yeah, exactly. It's quite powerful. Just because you are in a physical matter format, and let's say your ETs, they too are in a physical matter format, there's still energy dynamics at play. There's still things that do happen, even from an interstellar sense, where they scratch their freaking noggin and go, what the? No. And then they question, they think, like, that's not possible. But it works. And it does happen. So that's like something to just, again, you choose. You don't need to wait on anybody else. Do the work. A little bit of time, a little bit of energy, ripple that stuff out.
You know, I agree with Brian wholeheartedly. And I want to keep, and Brian's just trying to keep you in check, okay? He's just trying to keep you in check. He has nothing, no ulterior motives. Like, it's hard for me to say certain words with this pain. He has no ulterior motives involved in giving you this advice, okay? But one thing I want you to keep in mind is before you go in there, you're still going to come out wearing the same T-shirt or the same knit shirt, your same pair of pants. And guess what, folks? When you go to the bathroom, you're still going to have to drop your pants like everybody else, okay? You're no better. You're no worse than the guy next to you, okay? But keep it real. And don't listen. I'm gonna say this until you guys are gonna turn the channel. You're so sick of me saying this, okay? Nan your damn business where I got the money for a new car. Nan your damn business where I got that house. It's none of your business. It's Nanya. Well, ain't you rude? Yeah, I am rude. I'm sorry, but in 90 days, if you ask me again, maybe I'll tell you, but maybe I won't. Okay? Maybe I'll tell you. Maybe I won't. And that's why I tell everybody, please, I have nothing against spouses. I have nothing against husbands or wives. I don't have anything against families. But loose lips sink ships, folks. Oh, my daughter went and put something on social media. Got all my money clawed back, including my R&R money. I got it all clawed back. Now I got to go find a job. You know?
Or you'll be waiting a while. Yeah, that, or you'll be waiting a while on those other restoration packages, because we don't know how all that works in either gradually, or I wouldn't think instantaneous. I don't see an instantaneous formula, so I see things being gradually unwound.
Yeah, it will be. It'll be a slow rollout, just like the RV's doing right now. Because, like I told you 4 or 5 months ago, you know, my friend Jennifer, who didn't have a car, you know, she got taken care of. I'm sure she got a sucker rate because that's the way the banks work. So, but this thing has been a slow rollout. Anybody that tells you any different, it's, yeah, Maureen. Maureen's got it. She's got it. And if, oh my gosh, I got so many people I deal with. I wanted to send a message to one of them in Florida. Isn't it terrible? Here's the thing. I have to put, when I save your name in my phone, I put one or two words to describe the situation that we're talking about so that I can remember who you are in perspective to all the other 500 million people that I talk to. Okay. It's just like I had this one guy, his name's Paul, nice guy. But the first conversation I ever had with him went for 2 hours, and I kept trying to get off the phone. And it was just like, okay, well, I got a private. I said, I might as well just live with it. I got a 2-hour private lecture. So he got a private lesson on the RV, the history of the RV, what's getting ready to happen, what's not going to happen, how to act. I mean, it's just like going and watching all my episodes. I should have recorded the dang phone call because then I could have put it up on my website, but I didn't. Okay. But anyway, so when I saved his number, I put Paul, 2-hour lecture. Now I know who he is, and that also gives me a heads up. So, we're not going to get into that again. So we'll make it short and sweet. And thanks for calling, Paul. Have a wonderful day, and God bless. And that's why I save people's names the way they are about their situation, and so I have to do something because I really need a secretary. I can't afford it. And but I want you guys to know how much I appreciate you and all the support that you guys have given me through this entire journey. And I want to explain something because I want to explain this, and I've tried to explain it before, but maybe I can do a better job since I'm concentrating harder tonight because I'm in so much pain. So I'm going to try to do a really good job of explaining this for you. Okay. I think I could have a huge following. I hate that term, following. I'd rather call you my family, but I think I could have a huge following of millions of people if I was to promote and do the social media thing intensively, like Phil G or Mark Z does.
Follow a script. You need to be able to follow the rules.
Yeah, but I'm not doing that, okay? Because I don't follow the rules because I see through the bullshit, okay?
Well, then you ain't getting it.
I ain't getting it. That's right. But here's the thing. They're working for Google. I don't know if Rumble pays them any money or not, but I know they're working for Google. And Matthew Leskow, who gives the information on the grant, he's working for Google too. He makes, my guess, is $70,000 to $80,000 a month Google money. Okay.
Wow.
But the difference is between Matt Leskow is he loves people. And he really does because he gives $50,000 to $60,000 a month back to people on personal private grants.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. And I know because he sent me one 2 years ago for $500. And I know he does it. And, the only thing I got to say is what a guy. But here's the thing. Phil G, Mark Z, Charlie Ward, Matthew Leskow, they're all working for Google. And even though we're on YouTube tonight, this show is not monetized. Okay. I am not working for Google. I'm using the platform. Docg and I are using the platform. But you guys got to remember, I am completely supported by the listeners. Okay? I'm not working for Google. Now, I'm going to tell you something. And somebody I talked to the other day, they said, well, how are you doing? How are you getting along? I just told them the truth and everything. And they said, there's people that buy hosts and talk shows and, for their sponsorship and everything, and they promote them and everything. I said, yeah, I know. I've already been contacted. And she says, you did? By who? And then she said the name. Okay. And I said, yes, they contacted me. Now, here's the thing, folks. I could have got $50,000 a year by selling out. They wanted me to sell out. That would have been more money for me. It would have been more money for Docg. And Brian would have probably even got a salary. But Brian probably wouldn't have done it because here's the thing.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do it because he has morals and he has principles. Well, yeah, I'm poor, okay? But I have morals and I have principles, and I will stand by it. And I'm working for you folks. I'm not working for Google. I'm not going to work for this other platform. I'm not going to work for this sponsor or that sponsor. What I'm going to do, any sponsors that I have is the ones that I brought into the show myself, okay? APLGo.com, ImmuSystAdvance.com. I brought people into the show, okay? And get $5 off per bottle with ImmuSystem Advance when you put in the checkout code Advance with Chance. I take ImmuSystem Advance twice a day, okay? And Debbie Stevens with APL Go, she's your representative. And 515-314-4948, or you can email her at Beamer, Beemer Stevens. Beamer, BeemerStepHens at me.com. Beamer Stevens at me.com. Debbie is your APL Go representative. Email her now. Okay, she's probably not going to take your phone call if you call now because she's in Hawaii. And if the shutdown comes today or tomorrow, which it could possibly come, okay, we can't have the RV without shutdown. If there's going to be a shotgun start, there is going to be a shutdown, okay? The RV is happening. It's on a slow rollout, but everybody thinks it's going to be a shotgun start. If it does do a shotgun start, then there is going to be a shutdown. There is going to be a lockdown. Get that through your head. And the whole purpose of the lockdown is what? The EAS.
And private exchange. Private, not for everyone.
Right, exactly. So, guys, this is I hate to say this, and it makes it sound like a stupid commercial, but this is your one-stop shop right here to get ready for the RV, okay? And here's the thing. There's no bullshit. We don't throw no bullshit out here. And when I see bullshit on my Telegram pages, I'll put up with a little bit of it. I'll put up with somebody contradicting Bernadette or Brian, and I'll just consider that a casual exchange of ideas. But when it starts getting to the point where my bullshit detector starts going, whoo, spider sense, like that, okay, you're out. You won't even know it's coming. I'll just block you, and you're gone. And if you come back, I'll block you again. Okay? We got good people. We got good people in this group. Good people. Tara, she is my go-to girl on Chance's private channel, Chance's Chat, the private channel. And I'm probably going to make her and Bernadette administrators on Chance, if I can figure out how to do it. I'm going to have to do some studying. But right now, my attention span is not too good with all the pain I'm going through. It says, me, myself, and I says, looks like if we get our president, he would announce NG, and everyone has to go back to their country to receive what they would clear legals out here. That's right. That is right. You are correct. The president would be announcing Nasara Gassara, but have you noticed Trump's already talking about a mass exodus of removing people from the country? Have you noticed that?
It's already been happening. It's just slow.
Oh, it's been going 4 to 8 flights a day out of New York City, Brian. You know that.
Yeah.
Who's the guy that we watched that I can't ever think of his name? That puts all the airline flights?
Don't know.
Doc, you know who I'm talking about?
No, really. I've been seeing a lot of people on TikTok doing it, but I don't know their names and I can't friend them. So
yeah, there's one guy in particular that's on the internet, and I can't keep track of it. Somebody help me in the audience that's listening. I can't think of his name. I could, but man, I'm telling you, this thing's really stabbing. It's starting to hurt. That's why I'm holding my chin.
Says Monkey Rex.
Monkey Works. That's it. Monkey Works. So, Monkey Works is on top of it, and these are all based on the flight recorders. Basically, they're keeping movements of the flight recorders. So there's been 4 to 8 transports a day, sometimes more. And I have noticed a few flights from Washington State, and I have noticed a few flights from Denver. Now, whether they're doing something there, I don't know, and I don't even try to figure it out. You might consider it's optics, but let me put it to you this way. There's part of this movie that is real. And all fiction is based on a certain amount of fact. Okay? Nanya, I think Nanya will be, we will be mostly done by the end of this month, which is 2 weeks. Is this what I think?
We'll see when we see. So try not to put all your faith that it's going to end, because trust me, we're not even done with the Q script.
Right. And a shotgun start is basically, like you're in a race and there's 50 people racing and they shoot the gun and everybody starts at once. That's what a shotgun start is. And I don't see how it could happen. It would be chaos at the banks, especially some of the people that I've talked to. I want my money. I got my currency. Give me my real money. Come on. Okay.
Remember when Obama gave the free phones and everybody went crazy? Everybody went nuts.
Oh, yeah. Everybody. I got
Obama's going to pay for me. He's going to pay get my free phones.
Can you believe it? Somebody's actually calling on the other line. I'm not answering it. That's the emergency phone, folks. If you're calling on the other line, you better be an emergency. Somebody better be dead. That's all I got to say. Now next will happen is my cell phone will take off here. Okay. Kent Dunn told me, he was right. He says, don't put your phone number out there. But there's so many people to help. There's so many people to help.
Yeah, but at the same time, you have to be mindful of your own energy and not being able to stretch yourself too thin. Because even though the intentions are good, a lot of people don't understand energy enough to know that they can leech or vampirism and not intentionally mean to do it, but they do it. So it's just something that, as you grow spiritually, you will come to understand that we all have attachments. So if you do not like your attachments, you kind of have to clean house within your energy filters. And you got to put them up every single day, because it's a new script every single day. So you have to script it. And just to touch base, Ken Dunn's pretty correct, where you can re-script yourself right before you go to bed. You can reset, do a clearing. You can make additional requests through affirmations, through energy, because again, it ripples out, right? So if you're wanting to experience more, I would say, hardwired reality sequence to where it's literally like no different than your current reality, you can do that when you're asleep. I know I did it, and it was kind of weird because I knew I was in and this was 2 days ago. I was asleep. However, I did feel like I was on solid ground. And what was cool about the ground was I felt like I was in a small town or city, and the houses were made out of stone. The street was like a white, dusty powder. and I had this really cute, like peach, blondish white. It kind of looked like an owl, but it was furry all over. It had a tiny beak, and it was like it had flippers. Cutest thing. And I could vividly remember feeling my own weight as I squatted down and tried to pet it or touch it. And then I looked across and I saw a girl looking at me while I was doing that. So it's weird, I'll tell you that, but it felt like I was there, even though I was very aware I was somewhere else. So you can do a lot of cool things during your travels because you're not anchored to this body, mind you. You are free to go wherever you want, visit things, and do things, even things that don't make sense. I mean, for me to see even a giant stag beetle, like the size of a tortoise, laying on its back and not understanding what the hell is going on and how it flipped over, only to find a smaller beetle about this size. And what I did was I picked up that beetle too, and I laid it on top of the stag beetle's stomach as if I was stacking rocks. And then the thing scooped it in its mouth and ate it. And I thought, oh my God, no, it did not just do that. Yeah, crazy. And then, yeah. And then I did. I woke up and I was like, okay.
All righty then. Well, with that in mind, I'm going to ask Docg what his final thoughts are for tonight.
Well, let me just change this a little bit. Just for the person that asked about my birthday went well. It was really good, and I enjoyed it. Spent time with my family, so it was really a nice time. As far as my concern of the way everything is going, as I said before, guys, I tell everybody all the time, just do you. And if it comes, great. We're wonderful. And if it doesn't, you're still better off than a lot of the people that are just relying on this, because we just can't rely on it. And hope and pray it does. And I'm sure it's going to, but we just don't know when. And that's the whole thing. You've got to take stock of yourself and just do you. Don't worry about everybody else. That's my thoughts.
Brian, final thoughts tonight.
My final thoughts are, if anyone needs assistance with spiritual guidance or learning structured language, and I'm not talking your simple, I'm talking about high end, where it literally reflects a different point of view. Not easy to do, but it's great for navigating children, other family members, but also your own energetic field to when you need to step away or walk away from something. It's kind of like you get this more intuitive understanding of how the words convey information from an energy format. Other than that, I have a lot of other tools if people need help with migraines or bipolar, ADHD. A lot of these problems I had, ADHD, depression, erectile dysfunction, contact me. I can give you tools. I can give you skills. Just leave a message at my number, 774-208-2377. That's it.
Fantastic. As always, fascinating as ever. Hey. Yes, by the way, Brian's first name is fascinating. His last name is Brian. Okay. So, okay, guys. We're getting ready to cross the finish line. Whether it's gradual or all at once, you still need your RV protocol papers. 319-561-0064, Cash App or Zelle to Brian McFadden. Okay. Email me at chancemusic@yahoo.com for any questions. Email me at chancemusic@yahoo.com. Email me if you are overseas and you want the RV protocol papers, I will send you a wise.com link where you can pay with a credit card, okay, or whatever you use over there, okay. But I want to tell you how much I love you all. And to tell you the truth, 5 minutes before this show started, I was ready to call it off. And I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad. It actually helps. I don't know why. It actually helps if I put my hand up here and push against it, because I don't know if I'm forcing anything out or what, but it helps. And that's why you saw me doing it all night, because I have a abscess in my gums. I'm going to do the Cabal route until I can get this other stuff that I've got ordered. I've had some wonderful people give me some great homeopathic things, tools. So I ordered some stuff, and everybody have a great weekend. Be happy. No matter where you are, just remember, all of us here at Hamilton Radio love you. We worry about you. We think about you. And we want nothing but the best for you. And if you're a newbie, welcome to the family. Okay? I'm Chance McFadden, Docg, Fascinating Brian. I love you guys. We will see you next week on HamiltonRadio.net. Y'all come back now, yeah? Love you guys. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Night, everybody.